Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the analysis, tactical analysis or strategic analysis, whatever you want to call it, for the Lyman front. So at the Lyman front, the focus is actually the Lyman city over here. Lyman city over here, where the Ukrainians are trying to capture, because with the capture of Lyman, which is a major city, you will break open the route to capture a lot of space until start maybe setting up the stage to capture Crimea, Rybizny, and Severodonetsk DC chance, because this is a major city on its own. And let's start off with the situation over at the northern side, where the major breakthrough is. So in this location, in previously we have mentioned that the Ukrainians has been trying to attack from Lozove and Rupsi towards Rykudop, this direction to Rykudop and Kharkivka. And so what happened was that they succeeded. So the Ukrainians actually able to capture Rykudop. They actually capture this location, and in Rupsi they have this direction, they capture Kharkivka, and in fact they even go further and capture Nove over here. So they can capture this place and these two places. However, the Russian forces actually have reinforcement coming from the south. They go up northwards. This way, they attack, and they have recaptured Nove, and they have recaptured Kharkivka. So the current situation now is that the Russians is actually holding this line. They are holding this line, and they are trying to attack. They're trying to attack Rykudop, because the Ukrainians actually, after capturing this place, they actually do a defense line over here. They actually try to defend this place. So a very tight situation around here, and the Ukrainians actually, why they are holding this position, because there's another force broke away, and they actually moved northwards. And along the road, they actually captured Izumske and Orhiv. I think there is Orivka, and I forgot this is what location. I need to check the map. And from Luzove, they actually moved northward and captured Pisky, Rakivsky, and they actually also captured Rakivka. And the speed of this advance also suggests that there's actually no Russian forces here. And because you see, when they try to go south, they are actually met with Russian forces moving this direction, moving up to meet them and to stop them from advancing down. So however, we cannot say the same for the forces on the northern part here. So which means that the Ukrainians are going to have a free run going up north. They can actually go up further, go up further and capture Borova, and they can capture Pershot-Travneve. And the aim of the Ukrainians now is to capture this road all the way to Sviatove. So from Borova to Sviatove, this is actually a key highway that connects a rather major town here and the city of Sviatove. And the Ukrainians are currently trying to go up and capture this location, go up, capture this location. And with these locations captured, they're able to control the road. In fact, even capturing just one point at Pershot-Travneve will make Borova inconsequential, because reinforcement will not be able to reach here easily. And from this secured area where they are able to capture all this position, the Ukrainian forces can actually go down this road and attack Sviatove. And the situation now at Sviatove is that there's unlikely to be a major Russian forces over there as well, because if there is any, the Russians would have already sent in the reinforcement down. So we are expected to see Ukrainian forces to actually wait. Come on. Oops, what happened? Whoops, I paused the recording because the software hanged. So the Ukrainians will be able to capture Pershot-Travneve, and then they actually will want to move towards Vyatove and capture Vyatove. So this is the situation now, and in fact, not just this, there is also some indication from the Ukraine Defense Ministry as they claim that there is a Russian shelling here at Korovia, which means that this location might actually be under Ukrainian control already, and the Ukrainian forces is likely to continue to push south and capture Shandri Holove. And I would actually believe that there is a Russian forces defending here, because this seems like a rather important town to hold. And if not, then the Russians are really screwed. So another situation that the Ukrainians could do is actually instead of going straight down to Shandri Holove immediately, especially if there's no Russian forces over here, the Ukrainians were able to go from here and then cut off. They actually can flank from from below and then attack the Russian forces that is trying to recapture Rikurup. And with this flanking movement from the south, from their rear, the Russian forces will have no choice but to retreat. So you can see this way, yeah, and this would cause an encirclement of the Russian forces, which will then force them to withdraw back into somewhere or this way to somewhere that is safer. So this is the situation here on the southern part of this Lyman, on the northern part of the Lyman front. And on the southern part, at the southern part of this Lyman front, let me erase everything. So on the southern part, the situation, as we has already described earlier, there is this possibility that the Ukrainians will actually push south towards Shandri Holove, and this way. So this is the danger now, that the Ukrainians are actually pushing this direction. And while this is happening, the Russian forces is still holding very strongly at Drobisheve. They are trying to hold on for their life, and the Russian forces is actually defending Lyman across nearly all directions, because they are getting semi-surrounded by the Ukrainian forces, as the Ukrainian forces is currently attacking Yampil. So which actually there's another force of the Russians over here. They are defending this area, and in fact there is actually probably some forces here, because there was report of the Ukrainians trying to penetrate this way. They're trying to go to the rear bit east of Lyman, trying to bypass Yampil, but this force did not manage to go through. They met with Russian defenders, so they cannot go through. So otherwise there is a fighting. The Ukrainians continue to put pressure from multiple directions. From Shuvrov, Dibrova, they're going through the northeast. They're attacking from northeast. There's a breakthrough to the north, and then they are trying to hit downwards. So, and then there is attack at Drobishevy. There is an attack from Yarova towards Novoselivka, which the Russians are actually holding a line around here as well. So the Russians' lines feels a bit fragile. They're still holding pretty strong, because I think they sent a lot of reinforcement to this area. However, this actually is weakening other lines in the north, which is why we did see this situation in the north, where the Ukrainians are running riot. So that's why it's not exactly a very good situation for the Russian side. And what is the Ukrainians trying to do is that without capturing Lyman, the Ukrainian forces can actually capture Stavki and Zarishne. And if there's any breakthrough, they can also hit the rear. Whoops, wrong button. Hit the rear. And the aim is actually to capture Crimea, where a defeat of Yampil will allow them to go this way, immediately cutting reinforcement and resupply from Crimea, where the Russian side is trying to resupply from this direction. So this resupply line is actually very fragile now, and there is unlikely to be a lot of forces over at Crimea for the Russian side to actually defend the city. Any fall of any of these lines would mean a disaster for the Russian side, because any reserve would be already sent to the front to hold, and this is actually pretty disastrous. For the information that I'm getting is that both sides are sending all their reserve into the front, so it's like everybody is just showing hand and doing whatever they could to capture as much ground as they can. So on the strategic side, so this is Lyman. Okay, let me indicate this. The Russian is holding Lyman, and they are holding the line here, here, and here. So there is this is the important one, Crimea, where they need the resupply and reinforcement, and then there is another one at Sviatove, where they are resupplying or linking up, and Borova is here, requires a reinforcement and resupply from Sviatove, and there's a link all the way to Starobilsk, and where Crimea also go through. So you can see this is the major resupply routes, and these are the weak points where the Ukrainian forces will want to capture. So any break from Yampil, they will actually go for Crimea, or they will actually take Zarishny to cut off resupply to Lyman, or the Ukrainians can actually take advantage of the weakness here. They push southward and hit the rear of Novoselivka and Drobisheve, and then they can actually complete the encirclement and in a pincer with the southern part. And but the more real situation is actually this one that is moving up north in these two directions, and they will be likely to spread out. They will likely to spread out in this way based on what they have done at the Balaklia offensive. They will spread out and capture more and more grounds. And the aim is actually to cut off this resupply route to Borova. With this done, the Borova forces will have to retreat up northward and over to other ways to in the alternative route to actually to a new defensive line. And when this happens, Crimea will be under siege. There is not enough Russian forces here. Then should the Ukrainians able to break through here, then they will actually go southward and capture Lysychansk, Severodonetsk, and they can actually hit to the rear of the Russian forces that is currently fighting over here at the Sivers front, where the Russians are actually having this very tough positional battle with the Ukrainian side over here. So this is the general strategic picture of the situation here at the Lyman front, and what is the implications to the other fronts. And so Crimea is the one to watch, Sviatove is the one to watch. Sviatove falling means that there's no more resupply route from the north. Everything have to come through Starobilsk, and the resupply route from Starobilsk is actually much further. Because the border to Russia is closer to the north and not to the east. So anyway, this is the analysis for the Lyman front, and what might be happening, what is to come, and something for you to think about. I might be wrong, I might be right, but this is just something interesting and something fun that I wanted to share with you guys. But don't have too much fun, because real people are dying in this war. So this is just something extra, which I do not want to blend into the reporting, because I think it will kind of dilute the reporting, which is why I now decided to put analysis separately, so that people like you who is able to watch until this point, who are actually interested in this kind of analysis would be interested to watch, and then you will be following this series different away from the news. Anyway, yeah, very long-winded, and I'll see you in the next. And do press the like button if you like this, so that more people will love this. And I'll see you in the next update.